going on, y'all? Back with another one. Back with another one. Sunday Madness, the 56th edition, almost the 60. Yeah, we're in March. Yeah, the 57th edition will be next week. So I'm about to close the series out as soon as I can. Let me see something real quick. Let me look, check the settings as I normally do. We got a lot to talk about. I want to speak on this Ja Morant suspension. He's going downward spiral, but we're gonna speak on that. I'm gonna get my thoughts on it. I'm gonna get my thoughts on it because since everybody's talking about, I'm gonna talk about since we're talking about sports now. Second overall pick, man, acting up. I remember that draft too when he was drafted after Zion Williamson. Not looking too good. Not looking too good. Not looking too good. From my recollection, not looking too good. Ja Morant. Ah, shit, my eyes so blotchy now. God damn it. Ah, damn. Ugh. They gonna hit me up with a fucking penalty, but that's okay. YouTube is. Fuck. Eyes all blotchy, man. My sinus is acting up. Ugh, I hate when my eyes do that. Always something wrong with me on a goddamn live stream. I try to be perfect as I can, but it ain't easy. Y'all just bear with me. Mm. Fucking eyes blotching up. Okay. Now I can see shit on the right side. Okay. Grizzlies, Ja Morant suspended for at least 2 games. Oh, they being lenient. See, this is the problem. Even though he's the number 2 pick, I have a problem with this. He should stay off of Instagram. Most of these athletes, to be honest with you, stay off the Instagram. It is nothing but a trap. It's nothing but a death trap. Self sabotage has always hurt so-called black men, especially athletes. Athletes are dumb anyway. They do some dumb shit and try to act like they're above it all. But stay off the stay off the internet while you're an athlete. If you're trying to do something professionally, you're trying to win something, stay off the damn internet. Man, this is ridiculous. Like you suspend him for 2 games. You see how finesse the NBA is. See, back in the day, if this existed in the '90s, even when I was a kid, they'd have been gone. They would have had 5 games, 10 games, or more, or like a month if they promoting violence on here. They would have shut that. They would shut that shit down. Seriously, because back in the day, they was kind of strict. They wouldn't let black players act crazy. But see, back then, I'll tell you a secret. Black players back then and prior were docile. I hate to say it, they were docile. You my dad, they were docile. They wasn't revolutionary. They didn't want that. They want you to be a certain way, but you was docile. Yeah, you had the skills, you had the tricks. Yeah, it was cool, but you was docile. Let's just keep it real. The way y'all act in the interviews, y'all was docile. Let's just keep Michael docile. He didn't care about no political stuff. Docile, except for probably Kareem. Kareem's an exception. I'll say that. Wilt was different. He was their starlet, like what you see in LeBron today. See, LeBron and Wilt have the same tendencies. They lean towards the politics. No matter what beliefs they're in, they lean towards it. But Wilt didn't rock the boat. Okay. He wanted success too in the stats, just like LeBron. Now, Bill Russell, on the other hand, is an exception too. Rest in peace to him. Him and Kareem, I would say they are probably the only two. It's a handful. It ain't that many. Okay. It ain't that many. I just don't, as a majority I've seen historically, no. But there's a handful of brothers that actually fought against the system in the league sometimes. But LeBron does not count because he say one thing, then he says another. You can't listen to what he be saying because he'll have y'all all blind and stupid over here in a minute. But that's a whole nother story. But you got this guy, Ja Morant, actually one of my favorite players, but it's a shame that he's acting up like this. But he's young and ignorant. But he's got to go out of it. Get away from that Instagram. They need to talk to him, pull him to the side. Hey nigga, you gonna cost y'all some millions. But that's Ja Morant's. Like I can't tell him what to do. He's a young man, and my advice to him, like I don't think he need to listen to older players and try to tell him, look, that'll end your career, man. 2 games after posting with a gun. He said with gun on Instagram, which is crazy. Like, see that right there will hurt your career, man. Like, you got to stop doing it. You're downward spiraling right now. Memphis Grizzlies all-star guard. He's an all-star, right? And that's not good, especially you're a superstar going on to be all-star. You can't do that. As a number 2 pick, you shouldn't act like that. I'm sorry. You shouldn't act like that. Mari and it, just looking at this mess, it's just crazy. What's the subject of the detailed story earlier this week, which allege, they said allege, of course, his involvement in three he said 3 violent off-court incidents. Saturday, the team announced has been suspended for 2 games after he became the subject of an investigation by the NBA concerning his actions on the early Saturday morning Instagram live. Uh-oh. See, he shouldn't have been live on Instagram, which is ignorant. And we ain't gonna play it here. We ain't gonna play it here because they'll try to strike the shit down like they always do. Morant appeared to be in a recording from a strip club after the Grizzlies 113 to 97 road loss to the Denver Nuggets. You know, Nuggets is they're a regular season team. We don't care about the Nuggets on Friday night. Morant had 27 points and 10 assists in the effort. In the video, Morant appears to hold a firearm to the side of his hand, side of his head, and flash it repeatedly. We are aware of social media posts involving Ja Morant and are investigating. The NBA spokesman Mike Bass said in the statement, but he will miss and he will miss a Southern California road trip when the Grizzlies will face the Los Angeles Clippers on Sunday before meeting the Los Angeles Lakers back to back. It's not back to back, but close to it, like a couple days. Tuesday night to the Lakers, so they're staying in the Lakers, so they're on the road. John issues apology for the gun video. He issues apology for the gun video. Of course, they're gonna make the nigga apologize. The nigga, you better apologize right now. Quit acting like a terrorist. That's what they try to tell him. Stop acting like a terrorist, nigga. You know, I take he and here's what he said. This is what he said. I don't believe he said this. I believe he was cussing and screaming before he said this. And I don't believe he said this. You know, he said it in a way, but I don't believe he said it. It's just like Kyrie's about. He didn't say it about Esau and them, but you know, but that's a whole nother story. I take full responsibility for my actions last night. I'm sorry to my family, teammates, coaches, fans, partners, the city of Memphis, and the entire Grizzly organization for letting you down. It is read, I'm going to take some time away to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with the stress and my overall well-being. This guy is 23 years old. So him acting like that, I understand what that is. Been there. But it's no way to act like that, especially if you have a lot of fame on you like that. Don't do that, my nigga. Don't do that. You're hurting yourself, man. 23-year-old is a turning point. See, he's 23. He's young, but you know, ignorant, but he ain't matured yet at 25 and prior to 30. You know, but once you get to my age, that's when you got to slow down. I'm already slowed down. I can't act like what he does. I wish I was 23, but I'm not 23 no more. I have to realize I'm going to be 35 plus real soon. Cut it out, kids. It's time to grow up. In his life and career, playing at a high level in his 4th professional season. See, he'd already played the league in 4 years? And he acting like you can't do that. You're a superstar now. In 4 years, you got to stop that, man. At that age, see, he came to the league young. He's got to do better. That's all I'm going to say about this article right here. And his stardom has positioned him as the top pitchman for the Nike and an endorsement for Powerade. A token of his success with Nike appears in the circulating video footage with Morant shirtless, wearing the diamond pendant in his shoe Giant gifted from an NBA All-Star in February. But Nike released a statement later the Saturday expressing support for Morant to get help. They try to tell him, go to therapy, nigga. And I understand, you know, he has to go. That's cool. And in self-help himself too. They said, look, nigga, you are a shiny little gold nugget. You gotta get some help. They told him, put the clothes on, nigga. If you want to be successful, you got to put the clothes on, the righteous clothes. You can't put the slave clothes on. Put the right clothes on with the suit and tie. That's what they told that nigga. They said, "Hey, here, come here, nigga. He said, come here. Put the clothes on that nigga." That's what he tried to tell them. They had to collar him. They had to collar him for a reason. This is the NBA, y'all. This ain't like the NFL. You can't act up. See, they have to put the bigger clothes on you. You out of there, man. They had to put a lid on it. See, that's an embarrassment. And this article is going to tell you, look, it's an embarrassment. It's on Yahoo Sports. I'm going to read it. It's just a shame that we had to go through this shit. But I'm going to read it for y'all again. But it's just crazy. Okay. And told him get some help. He said, "We appreciate Ja's accountability." Here's the word accountability. They always going to make us accountable. I mean, some of us are, in the so-called black community is accountable. I'm accountable for my actions, but don't rub it in racially in our faces saying that. That he's taking time to get to help he needs. But we support his prioritization of his well-being. But the viral footage comes after Wednesday's report from the Washington Post, which outlined these three separate incidents. First, alleged Morant assaulted a teenager in his neighborhood with a gun in his waistband. But although the police report did not say Morant pulled out the weapon, in a separate incident, he and his 9 friends reportedly arrived at the Finish Line shoe store in a mall to handle a dispute concerning his mother. But the most recent allegation involves someone riding in Morant's car, pointing a laser at the member of the Indiana Pacers traveling party. But Morant denies each instance with his lawyer, an agent issuing the statement. In the aftermath of the story, aside from any political criminal charges, excuse me, did I say political? Let me read that again. My fault, y'all. Aside from any potential criminal charges, okay, I misspoke right there. My apologies for the bad reading right there. Aside from any potential criminal charges from aforementioned reported incidents, the Morant now faces an investigation from the league and an activity that he chooses to share on social media himself. See, self-sabotage. Self-sabotage. That's all we need to know. Ja, you need to stop that shit, man. Self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is the number one killer of the so-called black man's demise, his success. Self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is real, man. Self-sabotage. 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 And self-sabotage is not something that you want for yourself. It's just what it is. Self-sabotage. But shouts out to Nate. Nate's live, on tell I'll talk to Nate later. But yeah, self-sabotage hurts us dearly. The reason I say this, it hurts us, it's just the number one factors that we see what's going on. But yeah, and when I read that article on Yahoo Sports about Ja Morant, man, that's crazy. But we're gonna talk about I saw a video with the so-called baby daddy, from River, and when do we hold women accountable? 7 kids, 7 baby mamas. I disagree with the video from I call it shit talk. I call it shit talk. What they call it TikTok. It's just a bunch of shit. But it's a shame. Hey, what's going on, John W? What's going on, man? What's going on, Leonard? But it's a shame. It's a shame that the dude don't want to raise his kids. He's a loser. That guy sound like a loser. Now we'll talk about River in a minute, but Ja Morant, this is a result. I know he had a father in the home and his mom, whatever, but you brashing a gun online, self-sabotage hurts us all that. We're going to get into accountability, and this ties into what I saw from River's channel. Shouts out to her. And this dude told on himself. He said, "I ain't responsible for these 7 kids." He said, "I already done told you, I don't want to raise them. Y'all see it on TikTok. I don't watch that garbage." And he's in a way, he's somewhat right, and and to me, he's 90% wrong. The rest of it, some of the 10%, he is kind of right in a way, because they both agreed to lay down with each other, had intercourse, had sex. Next thing you know, boom, he had a couple kids. It wasn't his first rodeo. And then she said the guy's 27 years old. He's young and ignorant, but he's not even responsible. See, once he gets to my age, it's gonna catch up with you. You got to be in their lives. They need a father. I don't care if they're boys or girls. And if they're boys, that's even worse. And that's not good. And especially they don't even be listening to sorry ass spaces in the so-called manosphere. That's not good. Because they got daddy issues. I don't have daddy issues. And you could tell why I don't. And I talk to these dudes a certain way, especially on panels and stuff. In 2021 and 2022 in the chat room and all that stuff. And I laugh at these dudes. They complain about the high school days and the vagina days. They're just crazy, man. These dudes is lame, bro. But then you got guys that procreate like that. These same losers that goes no matter what level. Losers come in all different levels. They could be successful. They could be poor. They could be all that stuff. And this dude told on himself. We're in the age of self-sabotage. This is the age of self-sabotage. It's always been this way. It's a self-sabotage era. I want to say we're in the age in the era of self-sabotage. It's always been this way during the pandemic and before. Before it was mild. People saw it was cute. Now it's getting worse. And look at John Morant pulling the gun out and acting crazy in the so-called community. See, the hypocrisy, like my man said, shouts to George Macon with the black community being so hypocritical about what Charleston White said, Matt Foffa. That's extreme. I seen a little bits and pieces of that video. I'll watch it after the stream. I'll let y'all know on a vlog stream what I think of it. Charleston White's a clown, man. He's always been a clown. He said he was trolling. He's a character. That's why I don't take anything he says serious. Now he's attacking the rappers. That's great. That's great. But what's hurting him is his image right now, and people gonna look at him. But someone's gonna pop his ass like Tommy. You know, Tommy got his head knocked off back in 2012. See, I remember that. That's why you don't see him outside no more. A lot of these dudes getting jammed on. And then I saw a stream with what's his name, CP. Shouts out to Lord CP. You know, he changed his name, but he said you fell for that Marty shit, which they did. And I mean, this is what it is. Yeah. He's cool though. He has a cool channel, but I'll be watching the clouds and let him know, like, man, them trolls, they gonna mess your channel up, man. Especially the white ones. Yeah, some dude try to fake mobster and a fake CIA agent on there. Bunch of clowns that's trolling. And you got this shit going on, but then you got to look at the fact that everybody's talking about Ja Morant. Well, Ja Morant is a young man. He's 23. He's well reserved as an athlete. He's been in the league for what, 4 years in the NBA? But what's hurting him, he's a young man. So he's quite ignorant what's going on. So I got some years on him. You know, I'm in my 30s, but dude, that's just ignorant. This guy is ignorant. Still haven't learned. Still have not learned. But that's a whole nother story. We ain't gonna get into it. But it's a lot of ignorance going on with him. But he said, I'm gonna get some help. They try to tell him, put the clothes on, nigga. Or act right, or we're gonna do you dirty. He had to plead with him. See, he ain't Kyrie. See, he young and ignorant right now. They like him young and ignorant so they can control him. And I bet you in a few months, everybody's gonna forget it. And they suspended him 2 games, and he's number 2 overall. He's close to number 1. Okay, if you're a top 3 pick, you should not act up in the NBA. It's embarrassing, but you cannot say that the league is getting any better. But Ja Morant, that situation is crazy, man. Like you don't be doing that on the internet, especially on Instagram. Instagram is over. Like, why y'all messing with Instagram? I mean, Instagram's been washed. I mean, if y'all on Instagram, you already know y'all ignorant. I mean, it's not wrong if you got it, that's cool, but Instagram is done. Like, number horrors on there, man. We ain't gonna get into that. That's just a whole nother topic. But like I said, that incident with Ja Morant and this dude talking about this video that River was saying to react to, he is fully responsible for all those kids, even though he don't want to deal with the child support, but he's a loser. That's what losers say when they say they don't want to take responsibility. And he letting you know he's a loser. He's letting you know he's a loser. And it's not good because why would you act like that? That's the most ignorant thing to say online, especially on the internet, especially if you're on a live stream saying that. You cannot say that publicly like that. That's embarrassing. Never say that. Never say that. because that's gonna hurt you in the long run. Because when it hurts you, you already know you messed up. You don't say stuff to get attention. That's not good. That is not good for people. That's not good for anybody. Don't say it to nobody. Like, if you're gonna say it, say it. But like a live stream, like, whatever. And he said it on TikTok, which is obvious shit talk. But and it's just like what I'm saying. You got to be careful on here, man, because people gonna call you deadbeat. All that. He is a deadbeat by my standards. He is. He tries to. I ain't a deadbeat. Yeah, you are, because you got 7 kids. 3 to 4 kids, I understand, but 7, bruh, you're responsible, man. You're a loser. Take care of those fucking kids, man. That's all I'm saying. I ain't got no problem. You don't want to raise them, but take care of them. Like, be a real father. Don't be a clown out here. It's a lot of dudes that F these kids up and then wonder why you create more criminals. You create more criminals when you do that, when you have single parenting. The statistics shows that a lot of those people that go to prison come from single parent homes, and that's facts. It's probably a good chunk of 90% or 99%. The other percent, 2 parent homes, is kind of rare. It's kind of rare. I want y'all to keep that in mind. Yeah, they turn out and do unbelievable things like LeBron, but everybody's not LeBron. But it's a chance you'll become another statistic. So be careful. Be careful. That stuff it's not realistic when people say, well, he ain't gonna be a statistic. He ain't gonna be a statistic. He is not gonna be a statistic. But he is gonna be a statistic. He keeps acting like that. If you raise him wrong, to fail, and what's the point when people talk about that? You gotta understand something. Important live streams like this, and you see times like this time and time again. Yeah, John Morant, he's just one person. Now, I don't know if he grew up in a single parent or whatever, or 2 parent. He should be acting like that because they're looking at that as a standard. So it's pretty much you got to understand what is going on here. What is going on here? And I'm just looking at it like this. Anybody that supports that nonsense is a loser to me. And I just don't understand the fact that's gonna come in here and act like the fact that what's going on is great. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to say anything bad about people not want to take care of anything. So I try not to, because that's them, but I don't agree with it. No, because he ain't a real father, because I'm gonna judge you regardless based off your actions. Not who you are, but by your actions. And if those kids were listening, they know they father's a loser. And they're gonna be losers, because that determines how you're gonna be. Now, one of them may not be, but the majority in that little 7 children rant that she trying to react to, they're already doomed to fail. So he already doomed them to fail on his part. The other part is the woman's responsibility. Yeah, it's true. She laid down. That's her fault too. Yeah, I would say it's about, most would say 80, 100, 99%. That's not true. I'll give them 25%. Yeah, it's her fault. Yeah, I would say it's like a good 25 to 45% of her fault. But the rest of it is on the man. The man's supposed to be responsible for his action. If you slept with 7 women, that's the man's fault. Okay? That's not the woman's fault right there. They the ones that birthed these single parent kids, especially the so-called black man, because he hates responsibility. Once you hate responsibility, you're a loser. You can't come in here and expect me to side with people like that. I just can't do it, man. Like, I can't expect people to be siding with that. But when John Morant came in and just like, you're looking at that, you do what you do. But it's a shame that we sit here and talk about the messiness and then the hypocrisy of the so-called black community, which ain't a community. It's just a construct of what we believe. But we're still people of the somewhat of a community, but of culture. But the sad part about what, George's saying is, you got guys like Charles Ward dissing people and all that. We're going to get into that this week. If I do a vlog stream, if it's clear and if it's a nice sunny day, I'll definitely do that. But if you're going to talk about it in a way, you got to really picture how these kids grow up. It's bad. But you got a guy that says it on TikTok, aka TikTok, is spewing that he don't want to take care of his kids. He got 7 of them. He's a loser. Plain and simple. This is a man telling you this. He's a loser. It's not a real man. He's a loser. Always gonna be a loser. Losers do not raise their kids. Yeah, expect a woman to raise a woman can't raise a young man, a boy. Needs a father. You know what I'm saying? And I see this all the time on both sides of my family because I have cousins that had kids out of wedlock. Several of them. I see it all the time on both sides. And these people that bring them in these live shows, recordings, all that, and they saying stuff like this, a lot of people say, that's the truth. That's the truth. No, that's the problem. You're perpetuating the same problem that's what's going on in the so-called manosphere, the modern day manosphere. They're losers. They've always going to be losers to the certain class of people. You know what I'm saying? But most people just don't give a they don't give a fuck about their kids, especially so-called black men, especially him. And it's just shows you where we are. It shows you where we are. I'll shout out Nate for a minute, but it shows you where we are. It shows you where we are. But people just want to get caught up and say, hey, so everybody's going, yeah, in today. But yeah, but I had to speak on the John Morant part of the first half of the stream, and then let's talk about dudes that don't want to take care of their kids because I saw a very disturbing reaction video, and I had to look at this. It's kind of stupid. Like, why would you do that? I might go 2 hours. It's just crazy. But it just goes to show you where we at today in the so-called world, But I'm not worried. I'm not worried. But I'm just not just feeling it with most people. Like, look, if you don't want to raise your kids, you don't want to raise your kids. That's some crazy shit. Like, I understand why we gotta get on the internet and talk about it, especially if you have children. Like, I don't respect these so-called, men. I call them males. They're not responsible for the kids. You got 7 kids by 7 different women, and I heard it from that reaction from River, and she did a good job. And she has her own respect. She tries to come as a male perspective, but I get it. She's a little bit an enabler, but I understand her angle. But the thing is, she better be careful because these dudes in these so-called red pill space, they'll run you up out of there, girl. They'll look at you like you crazy. But that's the whole point. But you got to understand something. Most people know that this guy's always like this all the time. But is he right what he said? He's right on some things. Is he right all the time? No. Like the raising the kids part, he just lost it for me. Like if you don't want to raise 7 kids and then he said they don't look like nothing material, well, you chose to lay down with them. You might as well stay with them to take care of the kid. You don't have to deal with the girl, and he ain't want to pay child support. Well, see, you're making tax and assets and bills for children. Children cost money. Y'all do know that, right? That's why a lot of people don't want to have kids. They says that common sense is easy. It really is not that easy if you say that. It's not. If you want that money and whatever. So, you know what I mean? Y'all give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. Yeah, I had to shut my door. My dog was acting crazy because someone's mowing the lawnmower in the background, but that's okay. But like I said, you can't expect people to not act right. But it's just the thing he said. And he told on himself too. See, I tell you about self sabotage. Don't do that. Them kids are gonna look at that video and sound how ignorant he was. And he was 27 saying this, and he's young and ignorant. Why are these young men having these kids early? It shows you they're desperate. He's already a loser anyway. And he gonna be in the dirt real soon. See, it does shorten your life. She was right on that on both sides, but usually shorten the man's life for having all these kids. And kids do shorten your life. They do. They shorten your life a long time. That means, yeah, it's a legacy, but what legacy if you ain't raising them right? They do shorten your life. If you don't have the responsibility and the fortitude to take care of them, take care of them. They do shorten your life, period. That's just part of it. That's why everybody's not willy nilly to have children. But the ones that are, they desperate. They say sex is the problem. No, it's not. It's individuals are the problem. Sex is not the problem. Sex is not bad. Sex can be healthy. Problem with it is they made it nasty. And two, it's been abused by ignorant motherfuckers in the world that's slaves to it. That's ignorant. Programmed by the top. But we ain't gonna get into that because most of y'all act like sheep anyway. Y'all don't know what's going on. Y'all don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't feel sorry for nobody on this internet stuff. I really don't. And y'all have some elementary minds on here. It's just sad and pathetic. But I look at it for what it is. Like y'all got to do better. Y'all got to do better. But that John Morant thing is, they suspend him from 2 games. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? And you expect people to change. How crazy is that? No? How crazy is that? So you expect a guy like that to change, right? You expect like that the guy be to change. It's just really I just don't see the point of people try to stand on that. I really don't see the point. But the point is, why even bother? You know? I understand people don't like certain people. We get that. We get that. But to say you don't want to raise children, you got 7 of them, that sounds irresponsible to me. I just don't agree with him on that. No. If I had 7 kids, I would definitely take care of them. Only losers say I don't want to take care of a kid. That's loser talk. Losers talk like that and don't get no respect from real men. And that's why they don't never get respect, especially in these so-called manosphere spaces. And then, yeah. And that's all our comment section too. It said the red community needs to take a L on this. Yeah, they're going to take a L. This is not good for us at all. That's just another way of controlling the situation. You're not helping the situation. Now, do I have kids? No, not at the moment. People ask me, would you like to have some? Yeah, in the right circumstances. I want them in the right circumstances before I even lay down with someone, and that's it. It's nothing wrong having children. You just got to be responsible. Put them in the right situations to do things and be a better person, better show better leadership, and better parent. That's what matters. It's who you're parenting. You just got to look at it for what it is. I don't understand why people just look at the big picture like that. Oh, me. And then you got to look at it like, what's the point of you doing it? But I'm not gonna speak on it like crazy. But yeah, when I saw that, yeah, he's a loser, man. Like it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But the discussion shows you it is what it is. I'm not tripping out here. I'm not tripping out here. Let's see. Then you happy to have water. They look like scavengers. But it's just like, that kind of rubbed people the wrong way when they saw that on TikTok or shit talk. But we ain't gonna get into that. I may change the name. Yeah, that's too shit talk is harsh. Let's call it sounds like a kid. The name TikTok sounds retarded. Yeah, that's me. I won't give it a name. I won't call it flip talk. They said, "What's flip talk?" TikTok, known as flip talk. They be flipping and lying and stuff, flipping and flapping type. I call it flip talk. That's a nickname. I won't give it. But it's like, why even bother messing with that? You know what I mean? Why even bother? Why even bother that? I know recording, but yeah, I might go two with this one. But it's just the same situation as you have all the time. But but then the Charleston White thing, what he said about my father's kids and all that, that's sick. I won't look into that. In that video with George making, aka the street media TV, known as the Bean, not the Bean, but the Urban Nerds. Shouts out to him. Shouts out to the Billionaire Mindset. As Nick Daniel himself, yours truly. He's live streaming right now, telling it like a lot of stuff is getting whacked. They tired of it too. But you gotta see it. You gotta see it, man. Like, I'm just over here just, chilling, see what's going on here. But it's just like they ain't even changed a stance on it. You know what I mean? But most people they just get caught up on the silly stuff. You know, and that's how I understand where the situation is going. You know what I mean? But but that's just me here or there. So I'm just gonna calm down. But a lot of people try to say that nigga ain't real. That nigga ain't real. I'm real over here. But then again, you see people just act all wild and crazy, and they think that everything's gonna be all right mentality. But when you have a live stream like that, you just understand what's going on. But one thing I could speak on is that the fact that these men they just crying out for help, but really they're downward spiraling. Ever since that fallen bro shit, what they saw past with bros, is they ought to be finished at this point. So they're looking at this as a problem. But then I look at it like, okay, here we go. And then I saw some with Courtney talking about the community and stuff. Like, Courtney, it's not our fault. You sound just like these dudes on the internet. I mean, Courtney Michelle add some good content. She's trying to say it's us, talking about us as the collective, but nobody's not caring about no so-called black community. You get tired of that after a while. But that's how I'm gonna look at it for now at this purpose. But after these things are going on, after you see these tumultuous stuff, like it just shows to show you that peoples have fallen down, man. Like it's like I said, wasteland culture is here. We here, but that's how I'm gonna look at it. But then again, Sunday Madness is it's sunny outside. It's been sunny since probably yesterday, I believe. Yesterday was sunny. Yesterday was sunny. It's been a mild winter, but it's gonna get cold next week. It's been an interesting winter. It's been an interesting winter. So you know how interesting winter is gonna be. But but the rest of the winter is gonna end in the 21st of March. And then spring's gonna come. It's gonna be a little cool, but it's gonna get warm real soon. It's starting to get warm. It ain't warmed up yet. Stuff is already bloom and spring's coming around the corner. And I'm just looking at it like this is crazy. Well, when people get caught up on their little madness, they just go crazy with it. But what I was about to say, I almost lost my train of thought. And we talked about John Morant, talked about Rivers' video with the old boy say he got 7 kids. A little bit of Charleston White. We'll get into detail when I do a vlog. Try to pick a day to do it, and it's pretty much the same. I just don't understand why people just don't see it that way. You know what I mean? But that's the whole point of doing it. But I'm just like looking at it like you got to see what's talking about what people is talking about in a long time. You know what I mean? But you got people just going crazy right now. But that's the thing about the John Morant thing, and all the other stuff. And I understand that people are just saying he got 2 games for suspension. It is kind of lenient. They being lenient on this. Back in the day, they would have gave more than that. Where the leagues changed and the system in the world is a little changed. It's political correctness has become canceled, but actually utilitarian societies have killed everything. That's what created this country. Without utilitarianism concepts, America wouldn't exist. They needed it so they can control you. And what's the saying? So I mean, the greatest happiness of the greatest number. What is their happiness of the greatest number? I said, and everybody sure is following it. And that's what you got to look forward to. And then when I look at certain things on the surface, I'm like, these people are acting wild out here. But let me try to find something to think about. Okay, I talked about those things. Yeah, Courtney Michelle. I was talking about Courtney Michelle, and they had like a little conference. I don't know what she was doing. I saw that last year. I said, man, Courtney, they ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna do what the hell they want to do. And I was trying to find a quest, and the quest was bugged, by the way, because I think I beat the game, and you can't do certain miscellaneous quests. They'll end up being miss quest, and then unlock. They on my other profile with another character. So, yeah, I've been. yeah, I've been chilling and playing it just for myself to see. It's alright decent, but I ain't gonna make no content try to share y'all the gaming experience. It's pretty much the same. And that's what you gotta do. And that's how you gotta look at it. Try not to doze off. But then again, then again, as I can tell, some people just get caught up on the negatives and things like that, right? But when you really, if you really think about it, if you really think about it, why the hypocrisy exists in the so-called black community. And I saw that in shouts out to Kevin Kelly. There was some drama going on with old girl and R Cook. Not a fan of R Cook either. He came to my chat kind of once. He was cool with certain someone. I think her name is Beach, and but the inconspicuous one, China, right? China White, of course, the reject from the manosphere. Their starling harlot that's been passed around, but we ain't gonna get into that and trying to trick dudes into her content, but nobody cares about her. And she got bodied by them. She said the mic's loud. No, that girl got bodied. Turning the mic up, that means did you win the argument? No, you just ain't saying nothing. It don't mean you're loud. It means you're ignorant. I hate when they say the mic turns you win and get out of here. Y'all just want to talk shit. Anybody with a real microphone, y'all just don't want to hear what no one got to say. But that's cool. That's cool. I don't need them. I got the playback. That's what matters to me. Playback matters, whether you like it or not. Everybody try to say playback don't matter. Playback always matters. Come on, man. It's YouTube. YouTube don't care. As long as you make efficient content, you're solid. Let's cut the bullshit. Okay? A lot of y'all be on bullshit. And that's what y'all be on. And expect people to like you and stuff. Like, I don't need to be liked. Not on here. I let that known. I said this day one. Even when I started live streams, I said this. It's no point of arguing people like that. I'm sorry, but that's just who I am. Sorry, but not sorry. Sorry, I'll never will be sorry. That's just who I am. I'm not gonna cow down to some idiots on the internet. I'm really not. No, it's not who I am. And if you think that, you're on the wrong channel, the wrong place. I don't play that. I don't play that garbage. But you will understand that I don't care about what people say. I really don't. It's up on y'all to figure that out. It's up on y'all to figure that out. I'm not trying to argue about it, and we're not going to try to debunk everybody on it. So we're just not going to be involved in it, so to speak. But you got people thinking might is right all the time, but it ain't always right. You just got to listen. You got to listen to your elders. You got to listen to your peoples. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not telling you nothing wrong. It's a lot wrong with certain situations, especially on the internet. And then you see it all the time. Let me see something real quick. It's containers, containers, containers. Coming here from being soggy and rocky and naughty. Okay. Okay, we got some over here. Oh, there. It's pretty much the same. But that's how you gotta look at it. That's how you gotta look at it. But but yeah, that situation, him and his suspension, that ain't much. But that's just me. That's just me speaking my mind and whatever and whatnot. You know, I'm just gonna look at it from afar. Oh man, it's a lot of bodies over here. Man, I need some caffeine bad. This ain't gonna work. But we talked about a little bit of everything, but it just goes to show you where we at in the process of the so-called community is at. But and that's just what it is. But I don't support any of it. It's just a bunch of nonsense to me. But I was in the different communities before, especially online communities. They just what they are. Niggas gonna be who they are. But getting mad at the fact that John Morant is gonna be who he is and flashing a gun is kind of ignorant. It's ignorant in all sorts of counts. Y'all just gotta understand that's what we in. Self sabotage destroys so called black men. And you see it all the time. The internet is their downfall. Saying stuff on the internet being tough is just not gonna make you tough long term. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. Why waste your time? Why waste your time? You know what I mean? Why waste your time? Why waste your time? Because you're wasting your time on something that doesn't really matter to you. You just gotta understand that people are just not going to be immune to it. And that's just how it is. Let me see something real quick. Overdrive's like psycho. Critical hit chance. It's just like that. Okay. Let me see right here. But and she trying to show her jewels off, man. They crazy. These people are wild. Yeah, it's just crazy. Dun, 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 dun. You know, exact crazy. Yeah, plastic can go a long way. But most people are plastic on here anyway. But you got to understand where we at. Take people an example. Don't take people face value and shit like that. You know, it's just something. It's just something to think about. I'm just always pondering. Always thinking. Think about what I'm gonna say next and all that. But it's just obvious. 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 But that's just how that's all I got on the first half. But the second half, I'm just gonna talk about like real like this internet has really drained people, man. It's like a brain drain. So really nobody's not doing that. You know, yes, I do different contents on different things, but when I see some hot topics, I look at them like what it is. But Sunday Madness, it just exposes where people at. But you got people believe they're invincible on here, and they're not. Anybody can be touched. Anybody can be harmed, unless you don't have the stomach for it. You gotta have the stomach for it. But you know, let me see. Let's see what you got, girl. Yeah, but you know, it's just like it's crazy, man. Bag of cement. Yeah, get them some water and just a bit aluminum. Yeah, aluminum is precious. It is a precious commodity. Aluminum, aluminum foil. Well, yeah, we're gonna go back. Dang, y'all boys, let me trip. I'm tripping for a minute. Let me stop. But it's just like, you know, but yeah, man. But what they say about reparations in LA, I think, what's his name? Information Man. I might check that out because he has a stream on that. I might cut it to two. I might cut it to two today. It is what it is. I might cut it to two. I might cut it to two. Oh, yeah, yeah. And yeah, I might cut it to two. We'll see. Let me see. I'm just over here crafting shit, but it's like, you know, it's kind of crazy in the end, but I'm gonna go plot it down. Yeah, the water's getting all crazy. Yeah, trying to get this turret over here. Yeah, my dog's acting up because everybody's lawnmower and stuff. But it's like, you know, man, this enter chat room is terrible. I know. Oh, almost forgot. Almost forgot. Almost forgot. I'm gonna drop it today. If I want to say something now, you know what I'm saying? I ain't in no rush. I ain't in that Maris Smith bullshit. Gone with that nonsense. If y'all feel free about my comments on John Morant, y'all feel free to hit the link and let's just say y'all feel free. You know what I'm saying? Because what I see from him, man, like you don't want a downward spiral, especially it's gonna ruin your career. And what I just read in the earlier in the stream, like that's what we're talking about. And then we're gonna talk about this so-called baby daddy. That's my concern. The kids ain't the issue. I ain't got no problem with children. It's the attitude of these so-called men. You getting these whores pregnant, and that's what y'all promote in the so-called manosphere. And that's why I feel like it's a problem. You cannot promote that and act like, well, we're not promoting that. We're trying to help the so-called man. And no, you're not. You're hurting yourself. You're being a fucking loser. And you cannot say you're helping us. You're hurting us at the end. Okay? Like, brethren, y'all have to understand. You got to stop lying to the people. Y'all got to stop lying to the people. It's not right. He needs aluminum. Oh my God. So much from aluminum. He needs aluminum. He needs aluminum. He needs it bad. Have a nuke. A cola. Let me stop. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy right here. See right here. Yeah, facts. See right there? See right there? Yeah. Yeah. When I saw that from Rivers reaction video, man, she's telling it right. I mean, I don't agree with everything she says, but she has some good points. I mean, she's a good channel. She's solid and she's on that path that I noticed. I mean, she's got more subscribers than I do, but it don't really matter. But it's like the way he said it, if you have 7 kids and you're that young, you're 27, full beard and everything, right? This dude is reckless. And he told on himself. I believe it's on TikTok. I don't mess with flip top or flip shit or whatever. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. Let me add it. Okay, let me add him in here. Hold on for a minute. Yeah, I had to look at that. I said, man, he's crazy. 7 baby mamas. He's got 7 kids, and he told himself on TikTok not to be responsible for his kids. And I saw that before I saw the George. Man, I'll speak on that because I haven't seen the video that George. Well, I shared it, but I'm gonna see it for the entirety and see what he said about Charleston White and Matt Fop. You know, I'm gonna write some notes on that one. You know what I mean? This whack is trying to get his mic together. But anyways, but I feel that when I see these dudes in these so-called spaces, I'm like, why do y'all promote that? I just shared Alvin Priest and they talk about, oh boy, Andrew Tate saying he have cancer. Let me speak on that. That's most important. I feel he tried to use the system, but you can't disrespect the country and try to say, yeah, they corrupt, but they do have laws. Be careful what you wish for. It's not America. It's their lineage. But if he would have kept his mouth shut, he would be. And someone said this in a conversation on Album Preach, and they said, "Oh, why can't I have to?" No, I can't. I can't even hear you. I can't even hear you. I thought it was your mic or something, But anyways, no, I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you. Yeah, but it's just like Album Preach. Yeah, I'm gonna see if he's gonna come in.
Yo, what's up, man?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you
Oh,
now.
you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay, you can hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now. Loud
Okay.
and clear.
Yeah, because I was trying to speak before, and I guess you couldn't hear me, so I had to leave and come back. What's going on, man?
Oh, I'm just talking about Ja Morant, his situation, his two suspensions. I've seen a lot of people posting clips of him and talking about his situation. I mean, he's been acting wild lately. Then he say he's gonna get some therapy. And Nike tried to tell him. I was making a joke earlier. They said, "Oh, they done put the clothes on him already." He's a superstar, and they don't want nothing to happen. They precious prize. You know how that goes.
Yeah, yeah, that's
and
a
and then I saw a reaction video about this woman. Like, I'm subscribed to her. Her name is River, but she did about this dude with the 7 kids on TikTok, but got 7 baby mamas. But told on himself. He said he wasn't going to take care of them kids. I understand his perspective, but still your father at that point, because once you have 7 kids, like, nah, that's on you, bro. I understand you don't want to pay that child support. We get it, but it looks bad on your end. You got to show the woman you're better than that, because they always gonna run you in the mud. That's what they do. And this is not just a woman thing or a man thing. It's just, as men, you got to be stable. If you want to change women, you got to act right. It just has to go that way. You can't
yeah, but
complain and be online and just not doing no solutions. In order to shut them up, it's kind of like what y'all did back in the day, but you gotta put it in action, because that's what men need to do. Like,
but
instead of saying it, just do it, man. Like,
yeah,
I
but
mean,
let
I
me
get
say
what he's saying.
something.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, it's not about changing females. It's about being with the females that best suits you, because you ain't
Hmm.
going to change nobody.
Of course.
You gotta males have to understand that they have to gravitate towards the females that they have a common that they have something in common with, especially morally, character wise, mentally, stuff like that. You have to gravitate towards towards females who are from a good crop instead of a bad crop.
Right.
Who actually possess females that actually possess qualities that would make them a a uh a good wife instead of gravitating towards hoes and shit. That's the problem with a lot of these males, man. They mess
Yeah.
around with hoes, but I'm not trying to make this into some relationship talk. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah. When she used that video, but if I would have told her, no, he said he likes laying down with him, but having kids, that is irresponsible. But I understand you're not paying child support. I understand you don't have the means, and they see you like what you always say, like the P and the R. But technically, he didn't look like a P and R to me. He's just like a regular Joe Schmo, like a Chad, but he had beard, right? And then he's 27, he's young. It's out of ignorance. Now I understand you can have all this. Yeah, we have the power to do that, but you got to be responsible enough to take care of them, because nobody's not gonna raise your kids in a prison system or in the street. I'm just telling it like it is, because I've seen on both sides of my family, it's not that fun. I'm trying to tell you, they don't really care about your kids like that. As a black man, you should know that leadership. Yeah, we can't change what people. We ain't gonna change no one, even the male. You have to understand, you cannot go out there be irresponsible, because next thing you know, if your kid gets shot by the police, there it is. If he chooses to do crime, or if he does good like LeBron, not every kid's gonna be LeBron. I said that earlier in the stream. Not every kid's gonna be LeBron. He has to learn to survive on his own, but he needs that parent guides. Period. Especially two
Of course,
parents.
of
Especially
course.
two parents. I mean, a single parent ain't gonna cut it.
So this individual is bragging about how he has 7 children and that he
Hmm.
will not take care of them, and it's
Hmm.
going to bite him back in the ass. When
Oh yeah.
when he if he lives to see his elderly years and his health is not as good as it used to be, and he needs some assistance, guess what? His 7 children that he abandoned is not going to give a fuck about his ass.
That's right. That's
He's going to
right.
be he He might be stuck homeless or stuck in some sort of government paid um home or some shit, laying there suffering with nobody helping them. So it's like when it comes to these parents, man, that neglect their kids, uh, uh when it comes to these deadbeat dads alongside with deadbeat moms, they don't realize that when they neglect their children, it will bite them back in the ass because you're gonna go grow old, weak, and feeble one day if you survive to live that long.
Oh
Now
yeah.
you probably gonna need your kids to take care of you, and they're not gonna be there for your ass.
Yeah, cause see, on the internet, you gotta be careful, especially like TikTok he was on. That's the worst thing, especially black men, so-called black men love to self-sabotage themselves. I don't understand what it is about, I won't say fame on the internet, but what is it to you, especially if you have 7 kids, that's a red flag. And when I knew he was gonna say something ignorant, but I don't view him as a black man, he's on the other side. But this dude told on him. So at least he was, one thing I give him credit, he is honest about it and he meant that. And those women don't understand. You choose these dudes, it's gonna bite you in the ass too, but it's gonna bite him in the ass too because he thought I could say that, yeah, you can, but it's gonna hurt you in the end. Because River did a good job exposing it, showing that video, not her saying I don't agree some things she said on that. I agree some things she says on all her other videos, but this one I kind of disagree with. He should be held accountable because the only reason the woman should be held accountable is less if they agreed together. And to me, they agreed to have intercourse with all those 7. He admitted it, but it's like he bragged about it. Like he just said, I just don't give a fuck. And like, see, that's your problem. That I don't give a fuck attitude will hurt you at the end because one day these
Yeah,
kids will turn on you. Like I seen
yeah,
this in my family on both sides, and it's just a shame. And then you're in the casket. Well, remember what you said this, and this is before the internet. And then prior to that, now you see it on certain internet when it was minute. Now you're on 4K internet.
yeah.
It's ball game. You cannot say that nowadays because people are sensitive nowadays. Because I understand it's
Hmm.
ain't 2012, saying we can say all that, but he has to realize you 27, you can't say that. Because at a certain age, now I understand when you're 20, you don't have that many kids. That's cool. 18, okay. You made a mistake, that's cool. But you kept doing it 7 times and now you're 27. Now that's not looking good. You're almost 30. That's not good.
Yeah, he's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
He's a excuse my language. He's a moron a- alongside with those dumbass females that chose to lay with him. I mean, on the flip side too, those females knew what they were doing when they
Hmm.
decided to have a child with him. They knew he wasn't shit from the start. And a lot of these females, you already know this. You already know this. I'm just telling you what you already know. But in general, a lot of these females purposely have children with these derelict males because it gives because they understand it gives females more control over how they're going to raise the child. See, these females are thinking they're not thinking about having a family. They're just thinking of having a child for themselves.
Hmm.
So when they think about having a child for themselves, they're thinking of them being the sole dictator of how this child's going to be raised. So the best way for that to happen is to have with the irresponsible male anyway that's not going to be there for them to help them take care of that child. You know, let me raise this baby by myself and raise this person and mold this baby the way I want to mold them, right? But then at the same time, I will not be held accountable for raising a child by myself because all I could just do is blame this man and not be in the picture. When in the reality, I knew he was never going to be in the picture. That's why I purposely chose him to father my child. If you understand what I mean. You know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and that's it's a control thing. Yes, they
yes.
control the sex. Like I said, men don't control. We may not control the sex, but we control not just the relationship. We control the standard what's be in society. I hate to say it. Yeah, even
I mean, males
good,
control
good,
sex
good.
too. I mean,
Yeah,
we
we
control
do
the
too.
sex
We
too.
we do too in a different way. It's just like I'm talking about society, like children coming into the world. Like yeah, they be swimming the man's testicles and stuff and the sperm, right? But the woman controls not to bring them in the world like in reverse. But here's the flip side. The men, good or bad, no matter good or bad, you determine how their future is gonna be. Now the woman can F up their future and say, hey, look, I'm going to control him, but you need a derelict, like you said, a derelict man. Like
I mean,
it's day to day. It's just a shame that it will continue. And I think George Macon said this. He said, there's a lot of hypocrisy in the black community. And we're gonna get on Charleston White later
Hold
on
on,
the next day with
can I
Mad
say this?
Coffee.
Okay,
Go
can I
ahead.
say this? No,
Go
I
ahead.
think I have to disagree with you for a minute. I think both parents, both a mother and a father, controls uh how that child is going to be, because the thing is, both parents, idealistically, a mother and a father contributes different things to a child's life that a
Okay.
child needs in order to grow to become productive members of society. Like, for example, a mother, one of the things that the mother can give that the father cannot give as much as the okay, one of the best things that a mother can give to a child that I don't believe that a father can do as well as a mother is the nurturement,
Hmm.
being nurtured. It's very important for a child when they grow up to have that nurture and to have that unconditional love from a mother that a mother's supposed to give that child, right? I'm not saying that a father cannot nurture or cannot give that type of I'm not saying that a father cannot nurture, but a father, I don't believe that a father is a better nurturer than a mother. But likewise, too, the father can give that wisdom, can give that leadership, and give that sort of guidance and be that main disciplinary that keeps a balance to a child. So the parents, the mother and the father, provide different things that is essential for a child's well-being. Therefore, I come to the conclusion that both parents are needed to direct the child and for the child can have a better future. You
Right.
know,
Right. Yeah, I was saying that, but in a sense, like the even if you're talking about relationships and sex, and I tell them, look, yes, both of them have control, but if that person's responsible, whoever's responsible in a relationship, usually the man, but the woman has to agree, like in that role, like you said, the nurturing part, you got to nurture him right. If you don't, the father or whoever may walk out or whatever if he agrees to it. It's a shame how society is run now. It's kind of hard to see that now. It can be done. Don't get me wrong, it can be done. It depends on the person. If you don't want the kids, like this dude was saying, he told himself, he was honest about it. He really believes what he is, but he's already a degenerate. It's hard to change him and those so-called females out there. I mean women, excuse me, women, but they call themselves women, but they're not, but they're females. Sh They should have known that he was crazy. And he's 27. So he at that age, you're approaching 30, that's not good. And those kids will turn on him. And I bet they're
yeah, they
small. I
already
bet
know
they're
that he
small.
was
Yeah.
crazy in 9 times out of
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. They're gonna turn on. If they're small, that's not good. Because when they hear that and when they get older, see, they probably little right now, but they're not the age of 8 and 12 yet or teenage. That's when they start turning. That's when they start rebelling. Because when you're at those ages, that's your precious years. You don't want to hear that at, I'll say, about 5 or 8, or at least 2 or 3. Now 2 and 3 they don't know, but like 5 and 8 going on, let's say about 10 or 12. You don't want to hear that because kids' minds change because their minds are still growing. And the teenager, you constantly hearing that, oh, that's when he's gonna rebel. Because I've seen kids like that all the time. I went to school with people like that, and then talking about their childhood, that affects them, whether you like it or not. If you don't have a father in the home or whatever, now mamas, that's a little different. A lot of people trust. What about mamas? That's different. It could be an accident or whatever. It's not the same as the male guidance, the disciplinary. There's no discipline in the child's life, so usually you see people going out there. Oh, he hopped out for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna set this screen up for a minute. But it's usually, yeah, it's the same. And Wack is correct. You need both. But when I look at the situation when he said on Rivers, channel she was reacting to on TikTok, and TikTok is disgusting. I think TikTok exposes the degeneracy of these males, not just the females, but the males too. And you don't tell on yourself. They gonna look at that video and be like, what's this nigga was saying? But he told on himself. At least he was honest. At least I have to give him some credit. I ain't gonna give him respect for what he said, but I give him some credit. At least he was honest about not taking care of him. Yeah, he knew he was a bum, but he admitted it. I think people need to hear that video. I mean, seriously, because this dude just didn't care. Like he let you know in a heartbeat. Look, I didn't care about them kids. I don't want to marry these females because they ain't looking like much. They go by looks, but looks can fade away anytime. It's nothing wrong having a nice looking female. I'm just saying, but you gotta remember You put them here, and she agreed to have them. You and they talk about the common, the condom thing and all that unprotected sex. They understand that. They understand that, but he agreed to it. So yeah, I mean, they had some good points, but that's severe. And then we're gonna get into Andrew Tate's lung cancer. They said supposedly lung cancer. It's and it's they found persistent lung cancer. They said on Alvin Preach. First, he's trying to cop a plea to get out, but you don't talk about Romania and then just gonna get out. But if you, cancer ain't nothing to play with, but he's doing everything he can trying to get out of that prison, or I mean that jail, or in Romania. But Romania is a tough country. See, them countries like them in Ukraine. If I was dude, I wouldn't say nothing because those countries are emotional. They rely on their stability. You cannot say nothing bad about these countries because they think you're insulting them all the time. But it's pretty much like if you understand where the world is going, it's going for real. But Andrew Tate, um, my thoughts on it, and when I saw an album preach, I said, look, he got what he got, but you can't talk your way out of it. You know, it has to be in court. That's all I'm gonna say. I gotta see him in court. Because stuff he's saying he got cancer, they're gonna dig this information up. It's going to happen. You know, like if he did that, it's hard to cop a plea. Now, they have a right in the country. You talk bad about them and you gotta suffer for it. They'll probably give him the help he needs, but they're not gonna be that crazy. But they'll probably extradite him back to England. If I was Romania, I extradite him because he came there on false pretenses. If he wasn't trying to live right, I wouldn't try to live there no way. So you gotta understand, like this stuff matters. Like the stuff we're talking about. Shouts to the Wacky for coming up, but you know I don't know if he's gonna be back. But if he is, but that's fine. But it's just a shame. It's just a shame that you got young men like that at 27 having 7 kids, and that's a good video by Rivers. She did a good job. She exposed what men are like, and this is a 24-minute video, and I mean y'all need to hear what this man said, and he talking about accountability looks like or whatever. And he said those women are not accountable. In a way, he said it, and she saw it. This dude had some points, but he wasn't in the right either. So you lay down with him. He thinks he's right, but he's not because it's gonna backfire at the end because those kids will turn on him. Yeah, he's typical. He said, "I'm 27 years old." And he said, "I don't even care." He said, "I don't even care." They both need a father. He should be forced to take care of the kids. And I'm gonna read this comment right here about this girl, the kids. But he said he didn't want. He didn't want. That's what the guy said. The kids he didn't want. At least he told him. So he didn't want, but you shouldn't have put him there. But at the same time, he was irresponsible sleeping with these women, knowing he didn't want a child. He should have protected his seed. That's on him. Exactly. That's on him. Exactly. He didn't protect his seed. It's a lot of dudes like that. I would say the women should force him to be there. He said he didn't want the baby, so these women need to stop forcing responsibility on him when he clearly doesn't want it. Women control access to. Everybody always say that, but usually both sides do. Next time, don't lay with a. They said a P and then allow him to hit it raw. They should have made him earn through commitment first. When women dodge responsibility through abortion, no one says anything, but vice versa. It's a problem, but that's just me. And this is a woman comment on this. See, this is an interesting topic. But see, dude told on himself. See, they never heard him say that. See, you got a lot of dudes self-sabotage. They don't care. They let you know it's over. So the dating market is dead, bro. And but yeah, you know, they control the access of it and we control what we put in them. So it's a two-way street. We're both, it's a joint, and then the child needs two parents. The end. Single parenting is not going to be great. I'm telling you that right now. I've seen it from all sides of my family, and it's not great. But it just shows you where we are. It shows you where we are. Let me tone this mic down for a minute. Let me tone this down for a minute. All right. I'm going to tone this down for a minute. Yeah, on getting this handheld for a minute. Yeah. Oh, it's been an hour. It'd be 2 hours in a minute. So it's pretty much I got to speak on it. But like I said, man, like oh boy, just like say, hey, you ain't gonna force me to do nothing. He's I don't give a. See that type of attitude hurts us, you so-called males out there. But you young men that's listening to this on the playback or whatever, or you younger than me in a couple of years, if I was you, don't think like that. You got enough of these dudes like that in the East Coast, no matter what coast of the United States or around the world, you got a lot of dudes like that. Don't be like these dudes go overseas, do that. They do that too. And you can't do that and expect people to respect you. See, I'm not dissing those dudes again, like the Fallen Bros. Y'all call them Passport. And the name sounds tacky. Y'all should change your name. Just say, yeah, it's cool to get it, but don't brag about, just the stuff you're gonna get. Just do it. But if you're gonna do it for family or culture, that's cool. But 95% of them ain't going there. See, they hurting themselves. And people gonna clown you on the internet. But if you put yourself out there, to me, you clowning yourselves. I don't think the internet is clowning. They just critiquing you, whatever. To me, it's called critique. But you cannot expect people are going to respect you afterwards. See, people want that respect. Respect is earned. Okay. Respect will always be earned. When I was coming up, they told me, son, you got to earn respect. You can't get respect. You got to earn respect. Wherever happened to that? But see, there's nobody saying anything. You know why people are gonna do dumb shit, dumb ish? Like your boy that say he got 7 kids and he's 27. He ain't gonna live long. His life is already cut short, but he understand he had him at 27. Now, if he had him at least 30, that's cool. But if he did have him at 27, if he was responsible, that's good. Some people in their 20s, yeah, you can have them responsible, you have them any age. It's never too late. You just got to understand. See, men can afford to do that. Women, it's a risk. But if she's healthy and then you do the certain things to you can have them too. But I'm not saying, it's a risk sometimes for women. Women got to watch it. And if she asks, y'all play as a team, y'all do what you do. Y'all can have a marriage. I'm not saying I'm against marriage. I'm not against marriage. I actually kind of for it if it's done responsibly, but you got a lot of dudes out here being single, but it's okay. If you like women, I ain't got no problem with no woman. No, and this channel it's not anti-woman. It's actually pro-family a little bit. I just teach it in a different way to show you you don't have to be aggressive. I do both, like the single life and the family. I talk about current and urban events, what's going on in the world, and why people are so messed up. And you look at it from a different lens. Why people perpetuate the same stuff. And they do it. They do it all the time so they get attention. So I'm saying, but y'all got to understand this stuff is going to matter in the future. And like Wacky said, yeah, it's going to bite them in the ass. It will bite him in the ass. And then he realized it's ball game. You cannot and will not act crazy. I don't care what it is. Y'all understand this stuff matters. Those kids will matter in the future. Like I'm telling you, once he get old, if he lives to be older, remember what you said on the internet? That's gonna come to bite him. If I was dude, I wouldn't say nothing at this point because he told on himself. Once you tell on yourself on the internet, it's like nobody's coming back from it. Nobody's coming back from it. You gotta really think about what you're saying. You got to control your emotions, man. Like a lot of dudes coming on here on emotions, think about these females is gonna change them. You can't change nobody, and that's true. I agree with Wacky. The only way you can't change them, I ain't saying they have to change too, but themselves, I wouldn't say we got to change. But if we do, it's a where we get right. I ain't saying we don't have to change who we are, but I'm just saying like in order to this stuff to change, I would say in general, like two sexes, it has to be some miracle, but you have to have the discipline to be willing to adhere to it. You know what I'm saying? And but most of our so-called women, they're brainwashed, they're controlled, and they're programmed in the system. The reason we can't change females, period, is the women is because they're lost. I can't argue with them all day long. It's a waste of time. Even if I try it on panels, I'm not doing that. No. Nah, because a woman's gonna look at you softly, and you gotta leave them alone. Sometimes you just, you can have a conversation, but just leave them alone. Like if they're not in the mood to be in this situation with you, that's good. Cut them loose. They know it's a two-way street. You just got to understand that this stuff matters to them in certain levels. Y'all can't just expect them to change overnight. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So it's just like you see this stuff all the time. And I'm just looking at it like, look, we gotta do better. But as men, we gotta definitely do better because the language on there say if you already got kids, but if you ain't got kids that's properly, trained, they probably younger. And he told on himself. So once you tell on yourself, you already shot yourself in the foot. And he knew he was irresponsible, and he told on himself. See, one thing I would never do is tell on myself on here. I just can't do it. You're giving too much information, then people are gonna ridicule you, and then he probably ain't gonna take it. I can't take this credit. So well, you put yourself out there. You shouldn't say "f them kids." That's basically what you're saying. And I understand his opinion, but you can't say that to your own flesh and blood. No real man has ever. No, I just can't see that. I will not see that. But these men get away with it because they understand that nobody's holding them accountable. Both sides need to be held accountable. I'm just gonna say it like this: both sides need to be held accountable. Okay, I'm not saying you to approve of it. You just got to understand it has to be held accountable. Why we can't expect people to just change. It's just crazy, man. But that just goes to show you where we at. Customizing Virgil's gun. I think we blew up the institute. He went crazy. I'm glad I got it. Kill super mutants. Yeah. Yeah. In the next hour, I'll be playing this and try to get him to 100 level. We'll see. I'm just promoting my settlements. Give me the most. Yeah, it's pretty much it. Okay. Yeah, he's wanna hop on and all this other stuff. But let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I just dropped the link. But anybody that want to talk about the John Morant or Andrew Tate's lung cancer thing with the album Preach, I will definitely talk about it. But that river kind of stuck out to me with the old boy with the 7 kids. You gotta understand that. You gotta understand that. You gotta understand that. You gotta understand that. But the Charleston White and the Math Hoffer with the pedophile comments. Shouts out to Street Media known as George Macon. I want to see that video or that long stream he did. I don't have to watch that and listen to what he was saying because that dude is kind of foul though, because Charleston White then fell off and whatever. But that's Charleston White. That's what you get. He's right about rappers and everything. I get it. That was his angle in the beginning. He was just doing that in Fort Worth. See, he's from Fort Worth. But what's hurting him, he didn't get that respect from that town because he's against, so-called black people. But once he got online, niggas is like that. Yeah, it is what it is. Just be careful with that. Just be careful with that. Just be careful with that. But I don't understand that why people just gonna talk about, was it John Morant or is it yeah, I talked about him with the suspension, they told him to put the gloves on, whatever. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But that's seven. Yeah, we talked about the baby daddy and his seven baby mamas, which is crazy. But shouts to the river again. TV. She got a solid channel. It's a little interesting. She tried to be a little fair. Reminds me of Courtney and Michelle. They have them similar talking points, but I try to look at them what it is. But I just don't get the internet, man. Like the internet used to be so minute. I mean, it's cool. You did it and you had fun. You say your information and went on. But these dudes, they just too thirsty for attention, especially when it comes to females. Females are not gonna go anywhere, man. They just gonna be here and people suffer through it. It's nothing wrong having a family. You just gotta make sure you're responsible. Family equals what? Responsibility and effort. That's a cuss word to so-called black people. They don't want that. You gotta have structure. You gotta have situations. But everybody doesn't long for that, and most people would stay single, and that's cool. But I don't have to worry about that. They say I don't either. But if I choose to, it's a choice. It's okay to have that. And people ask like, "Is it what's it mean to be a man and have kids and family?" That's some true, but it's not true at all. You got some successful men are happy. You just don't hear about them. They are happy. They just don't want to put up with it. Got a lot of people like that. A lot of people say they ain't no happy, lonely people. Well, actually, they're not lonely. They are happy people by themselves, and they doing the things that they love. It's an interest. It's called hobbies. People live for things. They don't have to worry about no kids. That's why they live long. See, people in marriages take all the risks because it's the type of jobs they do. They don't have time for the kids and they're not balanced. Married people have problems and they think that's normal. It's not normal because y'all like trauma so much. There's a reason why y'all like trauma because y'all controlled by it. The media tells you what to do about trauma. You go to a therapy bed and there it is. It's not the right answer. You got to have self therapy too. And they even tell you that in therapy as well. They told me that years ago and it worked. They can't do it for you. It's like going to a doctor. You got to go to a specialized, and you got to specialize yourself to understand where your problems are, and then they help you, and you do things the right way. They give you some homework, you do it, and that's how I'm gonna look at it. But the 2 hours is about to hit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let the 2 hours go in, and I'm just saying you gotta look at these things in the right way. But she's my dog's panicking right now, tripping right now because nobody's not giving her attention. But that's okay. She'll get over it. I'm gonna put this in and just expect people to be more enthused. But after that, it's pretty much it. But like I said, we talked about a little bit of everything. But yeah, man, like, man, y'all got to do better. I mean, you so-called men out there, you males out there, y'all got to do better. And don't be like these dudes out here like this. Y'all got to do better. Y'all got to look at these dudes and call themselves men. That's questionable. It's questionable. Because when you have women that he lay down with, he told them so. He said, "Well, she's doing it for the men." No, 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 no. She ain't doing it for the men. She just pointed out that's our problem. That's something we got to do. And fatherhood has to be correct. Okay, y'all can't just go in here and just have sex with anybody and then be willy nilly. And she was right on the tail end of it. Yeah, he effed up, but he knew what he was doing. This, you see the difference. He knew what he was doing. He was honest about his nonsense. But if I was him, I would not speak on it on the internet like that. I couldn't do it. Like you do that and you bragging about it like it's okay. Like, bruh, that's some arrogant shit. Like I would never do that. You got to think of the ramification. People don't care about you like that on here. You have to really understand that people don't give a fuck like that. Cause like you said, But you got to remember where you at, because the internet's not your friend like that. You got to really look at yourself like 7 kids, man, you're done. You're done. 7 kids, like, man, that's a lot of kids. That's a lot of money. After that, 10 or more, they say you can't even pay them. The government's not gonna feed them like that. Give them government assistance. That's, but that just shows you where we are, because we're lost. The so-called men are lost. But it's terrible, But they know they were terrible, and that's why some days I don't talk about these stuff like this and so-called relationship topics, because most of y'all get too emotional. Y'all get emotionally invested, and me and APT be saying that a lot of times they get emotionally invested because they're miserable. They're miserable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand that they're miserable. They're miserable, but we'll get in back to it. Yeah, I'm playing this game called Fallout 4, and it's interesting. It crashes a lot on the Xbox, but if I get a better Xbox, I'm definitely gonna play this game again, see how it don't crash. DLCs are a mess, so it's pretty much we see what we can get. I just don't understand that what's going on is going to be in there, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see where we're gonna go from there. But all right. Let me step away real quick. I'll be right back. I'm gonna step away real quick. I'll be right back. I'm back. But yeah, it's just like responsibility and effort is the key, especially with family and things like that. We yes, we got off the rocky start with the John Morant because that's commonly speaking right now. And then plus, I saw that video with River and with the dude with the 7 baby mamas and himself being ignorant, young male syndrome. It's a common thing now. I try to tell you, wasteland culture people just got to learn to survive out here. They need both. But it's like it's fading away, you know? It's fading away. But I'm gonna speak on the Charleston White thing with Matt Hoffa. And, he's on Clubhouse acting crazy. I don't know if y'all know CW is acting crazy on Clubhouse. So we gotta see, shouts out to George Mingle, man. We talk about this all the time, but the so-called black community, they've been finished. They've been finished. It's nothing they can do at this point to bounce back what they're doing. And it's pretty much obvious what they're doing. They cannot refrain from the culture. You know what I'm saying? The so-called nigga culture or the culture they talking about. They're gonna be who they are. They're going to be who they are. So when you have these things that they're going through, why would they even bother? You know what I mean? That's the thing about I see. We have our issues. I have my issues. Like, we have our issues as the people. Then we have issues down here in the South. I'm speaking for the people here. But you got guys like that exist in the state of Georgia that think like this. Now, a lot of people try to say they don't think like that. Oh, yeah, they do. There's some niggas that think like that outside of Atlanta. You'd be surprised. And they be on these TikToks, and you got guys like that. They're telling on themselves. That's the worst thing you want to do to hurt your internet so-called career. If you want to be successful in it, which I don't care about that, you better not say nothing like that because they can bite you in the ass. If you try to be successful, it will bite you in the ass. You're gonna get old one day, and if you do catch up with those diseases and eat bad, you're gonna end up the same way, and those kids will turn on you. You ain't got nobody, and that's the worst thing. And especially when you have children, the ones you taught to raise right, and you can control and dictate. You got to think about what you're saying, especially on the internet. It's like everybody's sensitive nowadays. That's why I don't really say much no more because people are so fickle, and then they don't like my style of soft trolling and this joking and then playing. They don't like to. They so emotional, man. Like this whole internet of the generation of the older and the young, they're soft. That's why I don't take these dudes seriously. That's why most of them need to be in the dirt. That's just what I think of it. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to believe or whatever. Most of them need to be in the dirt. It ain't gonna be about my end. It's gonna be about someone else's end, about the police or whatever. I don't really care for people like that on here. It's already over because YouTube is showing that niggas gonna collapse and go sit down and get with reality. Y'all failed. You failed. You failed as people and you failed as a generation. That goes for mine too, but they're programmed to be failed. But you can't go around and brag about say F them kids and then everything's like gonna be all right. No, it's not gonna be all right. You gotta be careful with the stuff you say on the net. Because they're gonna come back and they'll bite you in the rear, they would say, but in the ass. But you got to stop thinking like you're better than everybody. See, that's the problem. That goes for male and female in the society. We got to stick together. So it's pretty much what you're saying. You gotta understand, like y'all gotta stop doing that. It's gonna bite you in the ass at the end because you don't want that. You don't want those problems. Believe me, you don't want those problems. I've seen it too much in my family and through my cousins and stuff. It's not a pretty sight. You do that, you're gonna destroy yourself and your kids and all that stuff. You got to understand who y'all are. Stop playing around with this stuff. Like this stuff is for real. Everybody's not gonna be your friend on here. Y'all gotta look at the big picture. and stop playing. Because people gonna look at y'all side eyed all the time. But that's just how that's just me. I'm just another man, like my man Notorious at KTB said. He said I'm a drunk. That's another nigga from. I'm a drunk nigga from Kentucky. I'm just another drunk nigga from Kentucky. That's what he said. I would say the same thing. I'm from Tennessee. I'm another drunk nigga from Tennessee, and slash GA. I'm just another nigga talking, just passenger with a message. People get tired of me saying stuff. That's all right. It's like, this nigga talking about, you always talk about the Devo shit all the time. I can't stand that nigga. You know how they do. Now you dudes in the so-called manosphere is y'all bunch of crybabies and whining about vagina all day, and y'all the original simps and don't even know it. Willie D said what he said. He said what he said. I agree wholeheartedly with what he said. But I try to tell Willie D the manosphere died a long time ago. Guys like Edward Anderson killed it. Every conversation is about females. I can't get this. I can't get that. And then it's annoying what he be talking. They think Ed is saying something. Ed is not saying nothing. He always gonna be like that. We talked about him off air 2 years ago. I believe it. She said talking shit. I believe she and then she'll throw a nut. Yeah. See, Twitter's a mess. See, Twitter done destroyed everybody, man. But Twitter and pornography, they go hand in hand. You know how that goes. They go hand in hand. But then again, you just got to look at it for what it is. You got to look at it for what it is. You just got to look at it for what it is. Let me see something real quick. You see this real quick. But then again, you just like, all right, what we talking about? Let me turn this on. Yeah, turn this on the backlight. But that's what you're gonna get from most people. I got the mic. It's my other mic on, and I got this on pause. Y'all excuse me for a minute. Almost push this mic back. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take that out of the unplug it because I ain't using it. Yeah, man. Yeah. Let me see. Let me see right quick. Get this cable out. Yeah, I got the cable out. I'm gonna take the other one out on the other end of the mic. So I'm good. So, anyways, it is pretty much it. But shouts out to everybody that came through because 2 hours about to hit. Shouts to the Wacky, Joe W, long time no see, Leonard, Tampa. Appreciate it. Y'all support Tampa. I hope Tampa drops some content tonight, because I want to see that interview with him and DOD, but knowing that person, they probably had to cancel. So it's like I see it coming that certain things is happening and these certain spaces is changing up. But if Susan is stepping down, this is a weird process. I don't know who's gonna run YouTube. Nobody wants to touch it. 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 It's pretty much like they don't want to touch this. And I see it all the time. I see it all the time. So again, it's just like I see it all the time. I'm just stretched out and then relaxed right now. I ain't really tripping. But it's just what it is. But it's a downward spiral. Society's getting burning as usual. Let's see how much I got on the receiving end. The current views. Yeah, you know how it is. YouTube is it's like that. But people come in and out, but they gonna listen on the playback. I ain't tripping. This is usually normal because people are tired of live streams. They're tired of it. They say you can't do this type of content. Well, I'm trying to end this because everybody's not gonna participate Sunday. But Thursdays, I'm good. But when I do pre-records, it's like hit or miss. I don't really care. But that's just me. That's how YouTube goes on my end. So I'm not really tripping about that. I'm not really pissed about that. That's just part of it. That's part of society. You get on or lay down. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of what it is. Everybody's not gonna like you on here, and I learned to accept that a long time ago. And it is what it is. So people gonna have their problems. And I'm not mad at people on the internet. I don't really take nobody serious. I just have my problems, and I learn to deal with them accordingly. But that's just me. I'm not here for people like that. I know people are upset and things like that, but I'm going to be me, regardless of the situation. Yeah, I'm still alive. Okay, good. I'm still alive because I have my problems. It's up and down over here. I don't really see any point. Yeah, I had a lot of trolls follow me. I lost a couple too, some trolls, but it's pretty much. I'm not tripping. That's the thing. And I had one time they age restrict me. They get me for copyright stuff. One time on the age restrict on the Thursday thrills. Can you believe that shit? Man, it's over. That's why I ain't trying to do these because this is something they can stop you, but they're not gonna stop me from doing them. I'm just not gonna do much. I want to be less profane on here. I stopped caring about this YouTube stuff a long time ago. A long time ago. Unless they make a section for us to say what we feel, it's pretty much in the ballpark. So I'm not really surprised people not liking me. Okay. Okay. Just checking on to see. I'm not tripping anymore. I know people. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm just gonna let the internet play out itself, because I got trolls on here, because sometimes when you do these live streams, trolls try to influence everything. They can't. You two don't do nothing about it. I ain't gonna speak on the P files, I'm just gonna leave them alone, and because they protect them. It is what it is. Like once you protect them, it's ball game. But man, it is what it is. But they getting challenged by that 230 thing because they said that affects the internet. No, that affects YouTube and Google because they're trying to fight. They said we're fighting for your right. No, you're not. You're dividing. Just divide the content up and just put us in a section and you'll get played. But if you ain't talking bad about somebody, you get views, you get money. George Baker said that you get views, you get money. You talk about somebody, you get views. George, the reason they do it is it's program. You program. Like what I said about John Morant early in the stream. You got to put the clothes on. It's ball game. Okay. They tell you put the right clothes on. You good. They tell him trim his hair. Watch. I already know. They tell cut that shit off and trim your hair, nigga. It's already programmed in your head. Once you're an athlete, you're done. If you want to be a superstar, you got to trim your hair. You can't wear all that wild stuff. Trim your damn head, boy. Ja Morant needs to calm down, man. He needs to come to reality. They don't care about all that. They don't care. They don't give a fuck, nigga. You got to do what you got to do. You're a superstar right now. All right, y'all, man. I'm gonna get back what I was doing. It's been a pleasure. Sunday Madness 56 edition. We will come with the 57 edition. We also Gonna be talking about something interesting on the 57th edition. Wherever the topic is I know it's random, but it's open discussion. We're gonna be in here and we're just gonna speak on what's what, but we'll see what this week is gonna get because yes, I will speak on the Charleston White with the math author, what I think of it. I'm gonna do a vlog stream on that. I'm gonna write everything down on the emphasis, what causes self-destruction on our side. Let's just say I'm gonna title the stream. I'm gonna call it "We Love Self-Destruction." We love self-destruction. We love self-destruction. It's in our DNA. We love self-destruction. And it's periodically we love it so much we can't even stop and think about what we care about the most. We love self-destruction, right? So with that, I'm gonna say name and Yah and Yah only, and blessed of the Most High, land of Melchizedek, aka Yisrael, people of Israel, all day, every day. Shalom to everybody, and we be righteous in this kingdom. Until next time, signing off, and I'm out.